I barely graduated high school. I didn't go to college. My father said that I can get a job in a bank. And also at this point, I was very much addicted to pot every day. I had an habitual habit with marijuana, and I drank. But my father said he'd pay for acting school. And so I remember my first day of acting school. And my father, well, excuse me, I'm sorry, I forgot something. I forgot to tell you that my first day of acting school, I went to HB Studios, and there was a sign on the board for a part in a play called Impromptu by Tad Moselle. And I went, I got the part, and do you know it was an incredible break? Because 6 months later I had a modeling contract, was able to quit the job in the bank, and I basically was doing well, fine as an actor. And I remember the first night, my father showed up to see the show, and it also happens to be the same night that I went to a gay bar. Now, it's good that you got this, but let me tell you something. Well, Richie, why do you have to always ask whether something is wrong? I liked it. How did I think about your acting? Listen, you can't care about what people think. I think you're overacting. The bartender said that I look 14. I'm not 14. I'm 18. And the only reason why I don't have a draft card is because I lent it to my brother. But the bartender's letting me drink because he said that I'm cute. And, oh my God, they're devouring me with their eyes. I like this. Oh. Is there a bathroom? Now, a year later, I was actually on tour in Chicago in a play called, I guess you've heard of it, Bye Bye Birdie. It's on Broadway now. I was playing Hugo, and I remember when I was very drunk. After a show, I started to drink, and I got very drunk, and I started walking down the streets of Chicago, not really knowing where I'm going. And I went into this neighborhood, and there was this guy standing there, and I put my hand on, I just was very drunk, and when you're drunk, you don't know what you're doing, and I put my hand on his leg. Get your hand off my dick! Why are you laughing at me, weird boy? Stop laughing, gringo. Now who's laughing? Now, when I was back in New York, get this, I got a part in a Broadway show. Well, I was an understudy for Equus. And I remember at the time, one time I was an understudy for the lead, but I also had to do one of the horses in the show. And one time I was very drunk, but I had to go on as a horse. They said, please don't come back. Now, those were words that I heard quite often from this point on, because I was also now a Ford model, and I was warned over and over again by the proprietor, Eileen Ford. And I remember this particular time after about 4 years, I remember it very well. Now, I treat all my models as if they were my own children. Now, You went to a photo shoot with your roots showing. Those photographs are useless. We have tried and tried. I don't know what to do with you anymore. You are off. Retractainer. Please, please do not come back. Now this is not okay. You lost everything. You lost your modeling contract. All you didn't do is drink, and I think there is something wrong with you. We took you to a psychiatrist, and even he said that there was something wrong with you. He said you were crazy. Now, you gotta get a job. This is not gonna work. You drink so much. You know what? Don, don't tell me that you're an actor. You're gonna get a job. I spoke to your brother Eugene. You're gonna get a job as a janitor in Alaska. Now, do you guys know what a bottom is? At this point, I lost everything. And I was flying to Kodiak, Alaska to become a janitor for my brother's janitorial service. Richie, you are a lousy janitor. That toilet bowl is not shining. My God. I'll show you how to shine a toilet bowl. Now, you know, Dad is right about you. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, all you do is stare into space, and you wanted to be an actor. I saw you on television, and yet, look at you now. See, now that is shining. You know what? I know it'll make a man out of you. I'm gonna get you a job on a fishing boat. Yup. I helped this guy Richie, from New York, the lower 48, and he drank all the time. Yup. And basically he would throw up. Well, we all drink, but he'd throw up all over the boat. But luckily, he was the low man on the boat. Yup. And he had to clean it up himself. Now this guy, Richie, was a queer. He basically went to the, Sally's bar across from the small boat harbor. He went there and he put his hand on a fisherman's leg. Yo! Richie! Hey! Hey, kill the faggot! Kill the faggot! Kill the faggot! They broke 2 ribs that day. And I left Kodiak, Alaska, and I went to San Francisco thinking that it would be my salvation. But it wasn't. Because at that time, I was addicted to alcohol, and for 99 cents, I was able to buy a bottle of cheap vodka anywhere. And I would drink before I ate. And I would get jobs, temporary jobs, but eventually I didn't pay my rent for 2 weeks in the Marlowe Hotel on 619 Larkin Street. And basically they threw me out and I was homeless. And I remember one time, I would stay a week at someone's house. I stayed with the cop for a week. But eventually I remember it was a cold and rainy night, and I heard about this abandoned building on Larkin Street that, and I basically heard about this guy, Gypsy. You want to stay in my castle on Larkin Street? These are my walls. This is my castle. You want to stay here? Will you get me my juice or my chicken? Do you want to stay here and get me my juice or my chicken? You see these guys here? They give me money. If you don't have any money, why don't you sell that pretty? I did whatever I could to survive, whatever I could to live, whatever I could to drink.